So, Stuart, welcome. Don't be a dick. Still be a dick.
Hi, I'm actually here. No, I was just being a dick.
So, what happened was that even though everything's plugged in correctly, even
Hmm.
though he was hearing me from the microphone, OBS refused to recognize the fact this microphone existed, and I was listening through the microphone, which doesn't make sense. But because it's all tied into this, it wouldn't let you hear him tied through my ears, because I'm hearing from it. So I just unplugged and changed USB and plugged into it, told me it existed.
So I'm back. You can hear me now,
Yeah.
and they can hear me announce Mandalorian Monday. Welcome back, because they didn't hear that the last time.
Nope. I will. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Hi.
Take two.
Yeah. And we'll delete the other video because that's worthless and it'll confuse people with views. So you don't know what happened, but we're just explaining there was a problem with the last video, but you're back and now here we are. So about Mandalorian, episode 4. Well, hey.
Well, hey, not episode 4, chapter 4, chapter 4.
Well, I mean, it's all. I mean,
It is episode 4, but it's chapter 4. Come on now.
although really, it's movie 2. It's a fresh reset. Sort of.
Yes, it's the Mandalorian episode of a Stargate episode.
Yeah.
That's how I describe this one. It's like every Stargate episode ever. Go to strange planet, meet, native population who's being harassed by somebody. Help native population. Oh, war-weary traveler wants to stay with the cute woman with the kid.
That's the first like 4 seasons or 3 seasons until the story develops. But yeah,
Exactly. or an episode of the A-Team. But
Spain.
should I stay or should I go? Should I live a peaceful life or no? I'm gonna move on. Yeah.
I'm going to share this way to talk to people.
All right, because I can do that now.
Yeah.
Hey guys, and yeah, welcome back to Mandalorian Monday, where we look at episode of the Mandalorian. Today we're looking at chapter 4. So, if you guys want to help out the chat and maybe not have so many technical issues in the future, even though we do these like so many of these that the odd technical issue is not a big deal considering we're in 2 different continents. Real time with the entire world, so really we can't complain about the little hiccups we do have, but we're going to anyway because technical problems are a bitch. So, but anyway, if you want to help out, please do so by either sending a super chat or sending us a PayPal donation. If you send a PayPal, make sure you'll mention it in the chat and we will read your PayPal comment on air after we check it. And yeah, other ways to help us out as well, you can head down to the links in the description. You can join us on Patreon. Patreon is very important, and it will become more important to us next year. So if you guys want to check out Patreon, maybe donate, start at the $1 level. $1 a month would help us out, but we are having some really cool perks and special level things. So check out at least level 5 or so for $5 a month. I mean, it's not a lot of money, and hopefully you wouldn't miss it. It's less than a cup of coffee sometimes a month. So anyway, just help us out if you can, because it all helps out in the end. It all adds up and really is a good way to support the channel considering how iffy YouTube has been lately with their monetization and stuff like that. So it's a great way to help out your favorite channels. So I encourage you, if you have other channels you really like, go check out their Patreons as well, and help them out. So. But yeah, was it really worth waiting to hear my voice? Did you guys miss me that much? And listen to Jeff. Jeff is important. He says, if the thumb's not blue, you did not do. So make sure your like button has been pushed. And let's get the likes up on this video. And if you can't help us financially, that's okay too. Just share the video around. Be sure to join us and take part in the community. And just hang out with us because we love you guys. Without you, there would be no us, because why would we do this otherwise? So, and yeah, the likes are important as well. So, hello.
Hello.
Bill says it was written by Bryce Dallas Howard. I think it was directed by her. I don't know if it was written by her.
Yeah, directed. I doubt it was directed and written. That would be
Yeah.
odd because she's not necessarily a director.
The
No,
Dreamer.
she directed it.
Yeah. Dreamer out there says Cap sounds way louder than Sam. Can hardly hear Sam. Cap is like he's in my head.
Oh, I mean, depends how I speak. I mean, it's not that different. It might. I mean,
I could talk like this to equal it out. It's fine.
Brilliant. I don't know.
Right.
I thought I'd done them twice now, but oh well, whatever.
Yes. 44 watching and only 16 likes. Come on, guys. Everybody hit like. Let's get those likes up.
It's because we got 130 likes on the other video, you see.
I seriously doubt that. We're probably at about 36 or so.
That's fine. But yeah, chapter 4, out of 8. So this is now the halfway point, which is
we're at the halfway point.
Because we just started it this month, or just about this month. I have almost 2 pages of notes, but I'm not sure what they are really. Given not what happened exactly, I'm not sure what I wrote down. But I always write stuff down. I think it helps solidify. You know, you're not focusing as much on the show. You remember things more because you're forced to like store it in a written memory. But yes, Stuart. So what did you think then of Mandalorian episode chapter 4?
I really enjoyed it. We got a few new things in this one. We got a shock trooper, a rebel shock trooper who is very easy on the eyes. And she's a strong female character while not being a super mega bitch. She smiles. She's relatable. She's not the typical, gruff, like let's say the Marine, the female Marine from Aliens. She's that strong, but she's not, and she's great to look at. So we have that. We also got an ATST, which I absolutely love. You guys, if you know me at all, I love ATSTs. And so this was a good episode for me. I really enjoyed it. They do. And now I have another one that I have to model. Hopefully they release a model of this one with the decals because it's got some cool markings on it. And the glowing eye element, that'll be so easy to do on a model kit of that. Yeah. So, but I have questions about this ATST, but that's okay. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was good. A lot of people have complained about this one, saying it's not on par at all with the other ones, and I disagree completely. It is like every episode of Stargate I've ever seen, pretty much. So
which is weird because it doesn't represent Stargate at all.
I know. I'm just busting your nuts. I'm busting your nuts.
I know. You want to bust all over me?
No, not quite that way.
Don't take it the wrong way, Stuart.
No, you took it the wrong way. It's fine.
Took it the wrong way.
Some say it's like a filler episode. It is kind of. But it's introduced us to this new character who's going to be joining him. I hope she continues to join him. I know she's there for the filming of season 2, so it'll be interesting to see how she ties in. But yeah, there's a lot of new elements introduced, and it was kind of a filler episode. It was kind of like a nice pause. I think we're going to get more action soon because in the trailer we saw the Imperials show up with the Death Troopers and the Stormtroopers, and we also see a space battle in the trailer. So I think we're gearing up to a lot of action. So this is like a nice, after the introduction, this is the nice calm before the storm.
It's funny because it's only episode 4. It's weird to have a storm after barely a storm and then a calm. It's like, wow, already back in the next calm storm calm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, is that it? Are those your thoughts?
Pretty much. Marvin R, though, says, can you please fix the volume? My speakers keep buzzing. And somebody else verified that you're a lot quieter than I am.
I mean, you say something, Stuart?
Something, Stuart?
No, you're exactly at -20, and I'm exactly at -20, so no, exactly the same volume. We just vary in how we speak. I mean, would you rather be like this in the red? Is that what you wanted, people?
Maybe.
Can't really win. Everyone's different speaks as well.
We got some super chats. So before you get into what you think of this episode, let's hit the super chats. Tab Extra puts in another, turns it into £5.
Oh, you crazy man! Brilliant.
I'm so hyped that the actress playing Cara Dune is credited to act in more episodes. Yes, and I actually liked her ever since I first saw her in Deadpool. Yeah. A lot of people didn't like her in Deadpool. I thought, who's this?
Well, you weren't meant to like her, which shows she did a good job. That's always the funny thing. Oh, I hate that guy. Everyone hates Joffrey from Game of Thrones. Yeah, duh. That means he did good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, yeah. So I'm excited to see her as well. And Eugene throws in 200 or 2,000 rubles. Sorry.
$30, which is very, very nice.
Wow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
What wisdom do you have today?
He says episode 4 was based on Kurosawa's Hidden Fortress. Chapter 4 follows the tradition. However, due to budget limitations, there's only 2 samurai. Best episode so far, no sand. Yeah. I wouldn't say best episode. It's definitely up there in the top 4 episodes. I made Sam spit out his drink, so mission accomplished. I'd say it's on.
It's definitely within the top 5 Star Wars TV show episodes of all time, live action. Definitely top 5, 100% of all time. The last 50 years.
It's pretty impressive, yeah. And is she really an MMA fighter?
She used to be. She was a wrestler turned actor. Again, another one of those people.
What? Oh, I'll have to go back and check out some of her earlier career because damn.
It wasn't that long ago. Like, Deadpool was quite like a wrestler. I didn't know it was a wrestler, but I read it at the time. Okay, so my thoughts. It's a weird change of formula. Very drastic. And like I said to you before, the first 3 was one movie. This is now the start of the next movie. And I was the pace of the first 3 is so slow, methodical, and chapter by chapter. This was a standalone one-off story, which is completely opposite to what we've set up the last 3. So I was like, oh great, 41 minutes, we're gonna get a nice long story, and then it's dealt with by the end. I'm like, oh, that was a very thin story they told quickly, like a normal episode of TV. Why was this an episode? You know what I mean? It's very weird to suddenly see this. Like, it took us 3 episodes just to find a kid and bring him back. It took 1 episode to go to a planet, find safe haven, kill some baddies, make a friend, almost lose your helmet, almost fall in love. You know what I mean? They crammed a fuck ton in this episode. Like, this is a very, very well compressed episode. It's a very well told mini story, but because it's only one, and I don't know why there's only one. There's very little development for any of the sub stuff, so it feels very thin compared to other a lot of stuff. It's a very thin episode. That's more just conventional TV, so it's not exactly a bad thing. It's just TV, but it is very thin. I'm assuming that in episode 7, he's gonna come back here because it's safe haven. Like, they wouldn't build this entire set, like build the lady up with the I can shoot a blaster well, unless they come back here. That's not realistic. So I think this is the build. This is like, you find the place, and obviously the other chick was gonna come back because she's great. And I agree with you that she's playing this tough chick who. There's such a stereotype now of we need to make a strong female character who is defined by their strong female characterness.
Their coldness.
What?
And their coldness.
Well,
they don't smile. They just come off as, "Ooh, I'm always so tough." Yeah. And that wasn't the case here. It was a nice balance.
Or way too strong, way too powerful without any rationale. She was incredibly balanced. She was just a character who they gave a little bit of charm to and bounced off them well. She was tremendously well done. Not really anything to complain about, which is great, and much better than Deadpool, because Deadpool, she had a lack of personality. She was just a mean girl, and she had a much harsher face. I remember being bulkier and harsher. This, she had softer features, much more relatable, like night and day. But that's a good performance, then, isn't it? Although I think this episode suffers from a few stupidity bits that are forced plot reasons rather than actual plot, which is a disappointment because Mandalorian's been quite clever so far, and this episode's quite dumb in terms of its plot. Like little plot elements. There's just like, well, we need to forget about this for 36 minutes, so we will. Oh wait, that was the plot. It's like, yeah. And you're really a Mandalorian for the last 20 years, and you forgot about that, you idiot. So this one's diminished the show, but in terms of like the grander lore, in terms of like he's now a dumber character, la la la. But it shows there's more to the Star Wars universe than just sand, and it's also deepened his intrigue factor. So it's a weird mismatch of different yet the same, but it shows you that episodic TV still works. Because it was a good episode. Like, as an episode, it was just weird as a Mandalorian chapter 4. Because it wasn't. It was movie 2, but really movie 2 and then next week's movie 3. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've got the last couple comments are about your volume again. 80% lower than mine. What?
I mean,
is it going through the right microphone for OBS?
Yeah. I mean, I'll up it even more, but currently I'm about. I mean, okay, you guys, okay, fuck, I don't care. I mean, now you're trying to piss me off, honestly, because perfect on my end.
Well, it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's something with the.
But people could be hearing different speaker setups. Who on earth knows? So now I'm actively in the yellow, and you're very much in the green. So there we go.
And it's not like he's any further from his mic than he is every other time we record anything. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll try to figure it out. But yeah.
It was good. Very different. Very, very different.
Yeah.
You know, very, very different to what I was expecting. But I didn't know what I was expecting based on it reset, like it ended last week. Yeah, but shall we get in on this action? Premier's going to be... Yeah, Premier's not going to... 1 second. And guys, do Super Chat your questions, thoughts, comments. We'll have to read them out. That is our personal rule of Super Chat. Not all channels do, but we take it seriously, you know? You support us, we support you, even if you make us say bad things. Please don't.
Yeah. You want to try turning mine down a little bit so it's more even? Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm just... Don't want people...
It's just, I can't trust what my machine's telling me then, because it's telling me now I'm higher than you. You sound higher than mine, so it's like, well... Okay, you're lowered down even more. You're now minus 20 decibels, and I'm minus 7.
What? I want people to hear me.
Wow. Quite a lot.
Well, guys, let us know in the comments if it's better. I watch y'all a lot without volume maxed on headphones, and just letting you know the mic volume is F for both of you. Oh. Okay. Well, there you go. Apparently we got a PayPal, but I can't see it in my email.
Well, it'll take a little bit of time. Well, thanks, Bradley Briggs.
I will check the email soon, Jarzia, but thank you very much.
So yeah, we got an intro. Very odd for a Star Wars movie.
Shrimp.
It was Insurrection, but with shrimp.
Yeah, pretty much. And blue shrimp.
You should edit the music of Insurrection on this like scene. It'd be perfect. I mean,
yeah, it would. It would.
And I love this scene. It's still quite bland. It's amazing how they make trees look so bland. But that's kind of their palette. But I love their use of cheeky CGI. It's like, well, there's a robot in the corner. That's CGI. And there's little shrimp moving. That's CGI. But it's so like adding to the world rather than like in your face. It's just exactly what CGI is there for. You know, there aren't shrimp jumping in this pad thing. But there are if you add CG to it.
And I was later in the episode, I'm thinking, wait a minute. This is like a backwater, small community, but they still have droids. They got a long leg droid that's walking through the water. They got the same droid stagecoach person
look at your live stream.
What's that?
My camera's now stopped, and look at your camera's going to go really weird in a second.
Oh.
You went black and white. Weird. That's cool.
That's cool. I don't know what being cool, but...
My camera died. Now it's back. We're having all the great times today.
What is going on, man?
But, I mean, everyone has droids, Stuart. I mean, droids are literally dime a dozen. I mean... I know. Too. And I'm guessing they're the rice picker Mark 1. You know what I mean? Cheap but effective.
Shrimp harvester Mark 1.
Oh, Dream Out there. Thank you. You're awesome. We'll let you know when they come back.
So we got two pay...
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say we got two PayPals, supposedly, but I still can't see them, so I'll keep refreshing my email.
And, hey, Commander, if you donated enough, would you buy a Rode microphone? Well, I already have a Rode Mic Pro for my film work, so I already have the most expensive Rode of the Mic Pro, and we're using a Yeti, which is about £130. It's just... I mean, it is dying a bit, I'll be honest. It is doing a few things. I mean, yes, I suppose, but I mean, I don't know which one you'd get. I kind of want to get a proper stand, but then it'd be in the way, so I have to be further away. I mean, yeah, I don't know. You always buy one for Christmas, but obviously then this is quite a high-end microphone, so you have to buy quite an expensive one, and then it's like, do you really want to spend $150 on us to buy this microphone when we'd rather have that go towards our salary this month because it's so bad, and it's like, ugh, you know?
Yeah.
But thank you for asking.
Hold on here. I'm waiting for those PayPals to come through, so when they do, I will read them, but...
For a headset. We're not wearing a headset. They look silly, and also they're worse. Why are you not using it? Because this actually has better audio for this sort of thing. That is less rounded. It's more of a tinny It's a different sort of
Yeah, and it's the same one he's used all these years for all of our recording and all the lives, so it should be the same. So, and the distance from his mouth is the same too. So, anyway,
just the monitors are different. That's it.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the intro then? Because it was very un-Star Wars, and yet then it went all blastery. Pachew, pachew.
It kind of was a little bit like, huh? It didn't bother me. I knew they were setting up something, but, you know, you got a one-eyed frog that's being chased around by a little kid.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I didn't know it was one.
yeah, it's got one eye.
That's fun.
And I don't know about you, but when I saw the tree line and heard the noise, I expected, like, Imperial walkers to come busting through the tree line or something. I was expecting something more dramatic than just a bunch of people.
And not just people, generic...
they look like JJ Klingons. Unless you get up close to their face. They were wearing the same kind of coats, the same kind of like headgear in some cases.
I mean, I was happy to see a new alien race, but I found it really good still. To me, just like the Planet of the Apes guys, even the same helmet, they're just Planet of the Apes. It pulled me right out of it because it's like, oh, that's weird. And my dad watched this as well, and he pointed out that why do they have to make the baddies ugly-looking aliens? Because then they're just they're the generic bad.
Because we're ugly, we're bad.
Yeah, exactly. And is that really where we're gonna go with this? I mean, if they're an existent race, that's different. Like if they're Rhodians, but just to have them be ugly, generic. I mean, what a relatively dull and I mean, I guess they're throwaway people. I doubt we're gonna see them again. But they felt like a really a misstep of meh. That was that to you, or did they resonate with them better?
No, I just they reminded me very much of the bad guys from the Ewok Adventure or Caravan of Courage.
Oh,
one of the Ewok, bad guys. I mean,
might be then. That's a reference.
In those two made-for-TV movies, both on the Ewok Planet of Endor, we have the what are they called? The thing that the Mandalorian rides in episode 2. The burr, whatever. I can't remember now. I just had it on the tip of my tongue.
What's it called?
Anyway,
Caravan of...
There's two. There's the Ewok movie, or Ewok Adventure, and Caravan of Courage.
Okay, I'm going to search Ewok movie baddies.
There you go.
What I thought I'd do with my day.
They're not really dog-faced in that, but they do have the same kind of grayish pallor, and they're just ugly.
They look like apes. I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hell. I mean, they've already referenced that once. They're an established race from several movies, says Nate Kornoff. Don't know if they are. I've seen all the movies. One of the Planet Jabba's gang in Return of the Jedi. Well, they're not green or fat. Yeah. I mean, they look nothing like them except a little bit, and a little bit isn't really close. It says they're Clartinians, which don't look particularly similar either. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say that either of those.
I just assumed they were just the baddie of the week. They're just, Yeah. But when they were running, when you saw them running through the smoke and stuff from the side, they look very much like Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes, but also like JJ's Klingons, the same kind of headgear and
just
uniform.
Desperate and out of whatever.
Yeah.
But I was thoroughly underwhelmed by them. It was a weird intro.
A little bit, yeah.
It looked
and I thought,
but very
and I thought for sure that the mother and the daughter were going to get discovered there at the last second, as he was walking away. But
we haven't got there yet, have we?
No.
So ends the prologue.
We find out this is chapter 4 called Sanctuary.
Yes.
We get the cutest scene ever of Baby Yoda sitting on the control, flicking on buttons, told not to touch anything, and he's looking at him and reaching for the button. It's like, yep, if you have kids, you understand.
It was pretty great. It was these are the sort of filler scenes that you really don't mind.
Yeah.
Although in terms of the Baby Yoda, this is as much as we get really in terms of development from him, that he's conscious enough and like he's intelligent enough to understand this. Because really, Baby Yoda takes a massive backseat in this episode. is kind of almost forgotten in terms of a plot device. It's more just a cute furry animal, rather than any
Mm-hmm.
sort of like, you know, the primary focus of the plot. Even though it's obviously about protecting him, but he's a passive entity in his protect him plot, so it
Mm-hmm.
skips past that straight away.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is a fun moment, and I love these in robes now, like actual like almost Jedi robes.
Yeah, yeah. But he finds this planet, and it's kind of a backwater, you know, out of the way, no main spaceports or anything. So it's a good place to lay low for a little while. He says, how do you feel about, you know, taking it easy for a couple of months, you womp rat, you little womp rat, which I thought was kind of cute.
What do you think about the idea of going straight into hiding? Because it sort of, it was instantly, oh yeah, we'll just leave and hiding. Wow, okay.
Oh, I got a PayPal come in.
Awesome.
This is from Jarzia, $5
Hey.
Canadian. I love the scene where they're fighting and end up pointing blasters at each other, and all of a sudden Baby Yoda shows up and he just says, "You want some soup?" That de-escalated quickly. No, that was awesome, that scene. I can't wait to talk about that when we get there.
And by the way, yes, they are Tatooineans from based on a Lego set. I don't think they look anything like them. So, variation within a theme, but I would not have recognised them. I didn't recognise them. They're differently designed enough, but you know, canon.
And we got another. They're coming in now, guys.
Yeah.
I got Streamer out there sending $6.39 Canadian.
Dang it.
And no comment on that one, but that's okay. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Sorry, it just took a little while for it to come in for some reason.
But you can buy the ATST Raider shirt on Lego.
There you go.
If you want, including the Mandalorian and the lady, and actually quite a cool set. If it was less expensive, I might buy that.
That's what I say about every Lego set. Yeah.
Dream Up There says showing something wrong with PayPal. There shouldn't be. Give it a couple of minutes. Maybe go to the website and try clicking that button.
Yeah, well, they've both come in now. As far as I knew, there was one from Jarzy and one from Dreamer Out There, and I just read both of them. So it just took a while to come in for some reason. But no, great shot of him flying over the forest.
And Dream Up There says the cat is a Loth cat from Star Wars Rebels, another tie-in.
Yes. Yeah.
Yay for them. And they didn't invent those shows; they're allowed to use references. Which is what I always say, Stuart. Use the universe. You don't invent new things. Use existing things, because you have this universe that you've been adding to for years. Just use it, please.
Yeah, but him landing on the planet, I mean, it's very, very much like every Stargate planet ever, Vancouver-ish. You know.
Yep.
Another reason I thought Stargate as soon as I saw this.
Well, it's the opposite to the last couple of weeks. They also wanted to do the opposite color palette, the opposite vibe.
Yeah.
You know,
I gotta say, the Razor Crest, which is a ship, is really growing on me, because when it lands, it looks really impressive and cool with those big guns out front. Yep. It's becoming a design that I'm really starting to like. When I first saw it, I was like, I'm not impressed, but it's really growing on me. So
it's beautifully, uglily simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It works. It's not a stupid, complicated design. But yes, they land. He's like, right, Baby Yoda, stay. I'm going to go out scout. Whatever you do, don't move. It's all good. Back in 20 minutes. Stay here. I'll get you a cup of coffee. Just hang out. Okay? Cool. And then you get a door scene. And I was like, this is a very specific door shot. I'm like, okay, cool. And the door opens and he's right there. And you're like, oh, you cute.
And I can totally relate to this. Baby Yoda looks a lot like my pug. Big eyes, kind of dumb. No, not the kids. But the pug. I mean, pugs follow you everywhere, even into the bathroom. Like, they're your shadow. They're permanently glued to you. So when I'm down here, like, working on Trekyards or whatever, and she's lying in the chair over there, and I got to go up for a drink of water or go to the washroom, and I'm coming right back down. I don't want her to follow me. So I'm like, stay here. I'll be right back. Sometimes, maybe like 20% of the time it works, and she's too tired. She just stays. But most of the time, I get up the stairs and look down, and yep, she followed me. It's like, so I can totally relate to this. I loved it. And to see Baby, and the thing that bothered me about Baby Yoda obviously is small, so he walks a lot slower. I'm like, it's going to take him forever to catch up. Next scene, he's caught up. Next scene, he's caught up. But yet he's still walking very slow. He's kind of shuffling. So is the Mandalorian like waiting for him or walking slower? Or because their strides would be completely different.
It is true.
That's why I kind of miss the thing hovering behind him, because he can go at whatever pace then, and it stays a certain distance away from him, right? But, meh.
This episode has less logic and thought than the other ones. Like we said before, maybe the first couple were the pilots, and they were like, right, gotta do it. And then they were like, oh, you got a full commission. They're like, oh, great, we're gonna just do this one a bit more chill. It does really feel like that. It is more gently made with problems. Like, yeah, I was thinking, oh, he's walking. That's odd. I was always expecting this episode that he would use the Force in some way to justify him doing things normally. Like, he can't force, like, he's moving at too quick a pace. That's the Force. And he's like, wow, you move fast. And he's like, meow. And Mando walks a bit quicker. And he goes, zzz. Like, a sense of he can do something, not just.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But they find a bar.
More Twilight. Yay.
Yes, yep, some species we recognize in there. And Noodles. And then the cat. And it actually looks like, from the concept art that's in the credits this one, it looks like there's actually a scene where there's Yoda with his hand up like he's using the Force on the cat. It never happens. This cat just scares Baby Yoda, and he looks terrified, and it's so sad.
And the CG is great. I love the integration of both puppet versus CG. He quickly jumps between the two, and it's almost seamless. Almost.
Yeah.
Now, I had a gut reaction. This is the same hut, but moved. They used in Force Awakens for Rey's hut. Like the big tent thing. Because it looks very similar to me. And it's like, it's only using this one scene, so they could... it still exists. Well, it could still exist, I mean. What do you think? It feels very similar. Aesthetic-wise.
I never really considered that, but... It's a shitty... I thought it was a shitty design. What happens when it rains? Because I'm sure it rains on this planet.
Well, that's every building on this planet. They're all full of holes.
I know. It's like, what the hell?
There's some plot points we'll come to later that also don't really make sense. This whole episode's lazy of me. I'll just say it now. It's less tight. It's not.
Yeah. But it's super enjoyable.
It is. Oh, yeah. It is.
Yeah.
But it's more Last Jedi. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, we see the lady there, Mando and little Baby Yoda sit down, and he orders some food for Baby Yoda, and he asks how long she's been here. She's been here about a week, and do you have any idea what her business is? Not really. She doesn't look like a lumber or whatever it was. He's like, oh, okay. It's a cute scene.
And can I call out how, now just to use the parlance of the time, how good is that bar wench? That bar
good.
Server. I loved the performance. I thought she brought such genuineness to it. I was like, oh, she's great. Wow, good job.
No, I agree.
You can, like, the vibe of the planet, normally you get the scummy bar. And this, she's like, so what can I get you? And he's like, throws the money. She's like, oh, you're thinking he's bribing her. And she's like, oh, thanks. Mate, thank you so much. I'll give you free shit. And it wasn't this weird, like, who is she? Well, I hear. It was this most genuine, like, oh, nice. I could buy more food this week. Awesome. It was lovely. I just love the interaction. They just reached out to me as a nice little scene. It's simple, but it's really nice. I love the fact that
tab extra.
The non-violent scenes are so refreshing in this episode.
Yes.
There's so many nice little moments of just genuine humanity in the Star Wars universe. It's nice, because in Star Wars we tend to get 2 hours where there's many action beats and many dark, depressing. It's just nice moments in this of people. I really like those.
The tab extra puts in £5 essentially. When can we get a Mandalorian hero ship from Trekyards? Whoa. After the series wraps up, maybe. We'll see. Because we want to, have it well covered if we do talk about it. Yeah,
then we'll be able to use all the images from all the shots of it and pick out the best ones for sure.
Yeah.
It'll be good. Thank you.
But she disappears, so he tosses the barmaid another coin and says, "Watch the kid for me." And I'm like, all right, cool. That makes sense. Goes outside. We actually see a view from his visor where he's got the thermal vision, much like the Predator.
I was about to say, yeah, Pred vision. And I like the fact that it's shorting out. It's not flawless. I kind of think that's because he got bashed around in the last episode. But if you keep giving him features, he gets less beatable.
Overpowered.
Yeah. So this is a tricky level. Luckily, we know he's beatable because he'd already beaten once, almost.
Yeah.
This was like, oh, wow, okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm. But we follow her footsteps. They go around back and then disappear. And all of a sudden, she's swinging at him, and they have a good scuffle. She actually throws him down and scorpions him once, where he hits the ground and his legs are soon to follow. She does a good job of kicking the shit out of him.
Yeah.
But you gotta wonder, with this Mandalorian armor, where's the effectiveness really in hitting him in the head with anything really? I mean, sure, it'd probably ring a little bit, but I mean, you could damage it so he can't see. You can't use the special features, I guess. But we saw it in the last episode too, where he got beat around a little bit, and you're like, what? Why? It's not going to do anything. You can't fist fight with somebody with a helmet on.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna aim for the hardest point on his body. That will do well for my fist. Yeah, this is both dumb and fun at the same time. The fact that he walks it, it's like, oh, where did the footsteps go? His body language is like, huh? I'm new to this. What? It's like if this was the hero of a movie, he'd be like, wait a minute, looks up, then gets hit. But he takes it like an absolute not good at bounty hunting. It's kind of weird. And the fight, yeah, it feels so out of place when she punches in the armor, because it's like I was just thinking, oh, she must be an alien and has super strength. Otherwise, punching a faceplate will break your hand and not hurt him. Why is this it felt really stupid. Then we use a flamethrower. It's like, you understand this entire everything around you is flammable. That's not a safe thing to do, and it's your one strategy which never's worked once really, except for one stormtrooper that you could also shoot. So it's not a very smart battle. It doesn't make much sense. But I love that he gets beaten a bit and she gets beaten a bit. It feels very equal, but it doesn't work with him in the armor. It doesn't really equate, especially as his armor's really powerful. So she should if it was a smart battle, she would know. She'd say to him "Ooh, Bell, what's it called? Steel? What's it called?
Beskar.
Thank you." She'd be like, "Beskar, steel," and he's like, "But you can't tell because he's got the face on." And then she just hits him in the non-armored bits. That would be cool.
Yeah.
To see some sort of strategic it's like not just in the face, my hands all the way.
It's like the advice Cheetor gives the kids in Beast Wars. When you're dealing with bots, it's best to go for the joints. Hack at the joints, because that's where they're most vulnerable. Same with him.
Yeah.
Plain doesn't have any armor on those parts, so go for that. But yeah, they both end on the ground with the guns pointed at each other's heads, and I'm like, well, you're going to lose this lady because that blaster bullet's going to maybe dent his helmet like Fett's, maybe, or just deflect off. He's not dying in this situation. But
point blank is different to ranged.
I know, but it's Beskar steel, man.
Yeah, I don't know. But all it has to do is go a little bit, I don't know. It could also maybe heat the armor. But you're right. Again, it's not. It's one of those fun end moments rather than I think it's meant to be a stalemate. They know.
Yeah.
Next, it's right. Who's gonna do the next move? And then they get forced out of that by a cute little baby.
Well, no, by the next internet meme. I'm just sitting here enjoying my soup. So she obviously didn't watch him. He's a crafty little bastard, this one. He can... Anyway, and then it just de-escalates. Yeah, it de-escalates very quickly. Yeah. Would you like some soup?
Yeah. Oh, it's great. They have chemistry. Considering he has no facial expression, that's well achieved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the next theme, she's a lot softer. She's smiling. Doesn't look like a badass, but talking about how she was ex-rebel shock trooper, and after they were cleaning up Endor, they took down some Imperial warlords. They did some cleaning up of the Empire, and then the politics kicked in, and she started doing dignitary escort missions and shit that she didn't sign up for. So she basically left. I don't know if she's AWOL. She's still supposed to be, because she said she took an early retirement here, and she assumed that he was after her as a bounty. So you would assume she's got a bounty on her. Maybe she is absent without leave, and so it's a good little story and sets up the character nicely. And she seems really nice, and she's like, you guys are, I like you guys, but I was here first. So, and I love how the scene ends where he's like leans into Baby Yoda and well, it seems like this planet's taken.
It's a nice honourable scene of like, so we're not enemies. We're just people. Let's have a chat. Here's my thing. Here's your thing. And Bugsy's like, fair enough. Yeah, I'll see you never. Bye. It's genuinely it's lovely. It's a very you feel the environment sort of scene.
Yeah. And Curtis Simpson makes a good point. She looks more like Xena. LOL. She does. That whole episode feels like many of the episodes of Xena as well. Come in, save the small town, and then move on. And
another useful point from Liprodron. With a strong hit, the helmet is causing the trauma that kills you, so there could be a point to it. The problem is it's sci-fi armor that I would assume has some sort of like padding, heavy padding on the inside, because they're designed like these are battle armor suits. It's not just metal on face. It's like a crafted piece of technology, which is also technology. So I'm sure it's got otherwise, I mean, if it's just an armor, one punch it smacks into your forehead, you've got a concussion. So obviously it has padding, and that's why she must be an alien to have the strength and be worth it. She isn't. I don't know. There isn't really a point to it.
Yeah. 91 people watching. Let's get the likes up, guys. Brilliant. Let's get to at least 50 likes. We can get up to 80 likes with 91 people easily. So let's do that. Judge says she looks badass with those guns out. I must have missed that scene because I didn't see those guns out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Next scene.
And it's interesting. That made me think of women tend to have breasts out, like cleavage.
Yeah.
But look how she's fully hidden, but she still has the skin of her arms and neck, so she's kind of still got a sense of openness, but not in the womanly way. But it's still it's a well designed costume. It does what it needs to do.
And as I said, she's easy to look at. So, but next thing we see the Razor Crest and these two guys approaching on a sled driven by a droid, like we saw in the last episode that got blasted. It's the exact same kind of droid. So, but they come up to him and they're like, "We could use your help. We have some money. We all, the whole town pitched in. We're farmers. You're a Mandalorian, right?" He goes, "You're assuming I'm a mercenary." "Well, you're a Mandalorian, so obviously you are." And then they say they want some help, and he looks at the bag of money and he says it's not enough. He goes, "You don't even know what we want." "Well, I can tell you it's not enough."
Yep.
And it's like, "Oh man, we got to walk back. We spent a whole day getting here, and now we got to go all the way back." And he's like, He turns around and says, "Where do you live?" "On a farm. Weren't you listening?" And he's like, "You have lodging?" "Yeah, because it's out in the middle of nowhere," they say. So that's what he wants. And I assumed because they said it was going to take a whole day to get back that he was just going to say, "Hop on and take the ship there."
Yep.
Them right back. But
yep.
That's easy to track. Somebody can see it. So I understand why he didn't. But that's exactly the thought that was going through my mind. He's going to be like, I'll drop you off.
Yeah, there's equally stupid and smart things here. It's like if it takes you one day to travel, then yes, you're far enough away from a ship not to just be detected, although obviously a ship can travel it in 5 seconds, so you're never that far. Surely they can track his armor, his steel, or his tech, but then he's so far away from a ship he can't escape, so it's like you're limiting your escape path, but also you're harder to track, but also the first thing they're going to do, they know you're on the planet, they would find a ship and blow it up, or use it to
and
find
hope
you.
You'd hope there's no forest Jawas. Come back and your ship is all scavenged
well,
again.
He was close enough to the other place. It's a weird thing not to fly, because especially as he then had to go. Can you imagine though? He went all the way out. They said, "Oh, no, I guess he brought the gun. I guess he brought the guns the first time just in case he needed."
He did.
Guns?
He was loading everything up. I think just in case something did happen.
Okay.
And then if his ship gets raided, he's not going to have all his armor, his weaponry stolen, right? So
this is what he said to himself. How many guns do I need? All of them.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, why not? But I actually love this scene because these two guys, again, really natural acting. They're like, "Hey, excuse me, hey." He's like, "Yes," but he's not mean. I love it. He's not like Boba would be like, "What do you want?" He's like, "Yeah, what?" I love them. They're so friendly and nice and nervous. It's such a well played scene. I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
I love they somehow they learned he was there, and then tracked down where his ship was, and then traveled a day to find him.
Well, somehow they from the village they saw his ship
They
fly
did.
over, so they
Did.
probably just sent people. I don't know.
Well, they didn't know
Anyway,
he was a mercenary, and to go. I'm assuming they maybe had to go to the place anyway for supplies, and then they talked to the
maybe.
lady, and maybe she said he's a Mandalorian, and they're like, "Oh, I've heard the stories. Would you know where he parked? Yeah, over there." They're like, okay, so I'm guessing like there's a few.
Yeah.
There's so much crammed in this episode, but this needed to be a two-parter. This was in desperate need of two parts, and it's a shame it only got one part. Honestly.
I disagree. I think it's good just as is. But Dreamer out there sent another PayPal. I'm still waiting for it to come in, but when it comes in, I will read it. Okay. Just as we know, it's taken a while today, so just wanted to acknowledge that.
This isn't Star Trek. There's no scanning for tech. Pretty sure there is. Bill Barker, John Wick. Yeah, thanks. But I mean, in terms of 2 episodes, I mean, we don't know why we don't know really who those mercenary the attackers were. We don't know why. We don't know who. We don't know how they got the walker. We don't know about the planet. Like, we know nothing about anything. So it's a very, like I say, very thin episode. If we've got 2 episodes, we can understand why, who, if. Gets more depth.
I don't think we need to, though. This episode is just to set up her character, and we don't care about the villagers. Who cares?
But then it just makes it a mindless shootout you can skip. Like,
Exactly.
If you don't care, then it is a filler episode in the sense of it's just, like you say, we'll make a situation that looks pretty, that we get to introduce a new character, we don't care. And that's
I'm just glad they didn't waste 2 episodes on this one. That's all. This is a nicely wrapped up bow as is.
Yeah.
It didn't need it, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, obviously, if you'd done 2, you'd have made it need it. You'd have made it really worthwhile. If you had 2, obviously. But
yeah. Jeff Jacobs though puts in 257, 50 likes again at 100. Hashtag make Jeff pay.
yeah.
I meant arms as guns, Cap. Like arms.
I think we
as
guessed.
guns. No, I got it. I was just being an asshole.
We joke.
I tend to do that.
Yeah.
And Jeff knows me pretty well, so.
I want to give him a little bit of credit. As soon as they're going to the ship, I thought to myself, right, how much of this is CGI versus reality? Because it's such a well composed shot. And obviously you see the thing. I bet they built almost all of it. Because, I mean, if you can assemble it in a location, I mean, in terms of, it takes a while to set up, but shooting it takes minutes. Like, and the reality, you've got time. I think they built most of it. Like, all of the bottom, I guarantee. And then maybe, I mean, the engine's probably not, because that's a hell of a thing to build. But then again, it's all, like, plastic. There's nothing inside it. It's a hollow shell. I mean, it's not as heavy as it could be. You know, I just thought it was very well done, and it was good to see physical big stuff. It's like when we saw Luke, the X-Wing and Dagobah. Like, it was all real. Because it was. He just walked around it, and, you know, it gave a real tangible sense that you get in these ones. But yeah, I love the idea of him, you know, I want to hold out, you can let me stay in your nowhere. Problem is, out of nowhere, middle of nowhere is very close if you fly there. Like, if this planet if this planet doesn't work, go somewhere else, but a different place on the planet isn't going to make it any more hideable, really. And a day's ride at, what, 10 miles an hour? It's not that far. You know what I mean? They weren't zooming, so... But yeah, simple finder.
Yeah, so he asks for their help in loading up the sled, and then he says, I'm going to need one more thing, those credits. And I'm like, oh, he's taking the credits after all, but it's actually just to hire her, essentially. He tosses down the bag and says, so you're ready for round 2? Yeah. And then her next line is great. So we're going on this mission for basically lunch money. We don't know what's involved.
Yeah, that's a really good line.
He's like, well, you know, at the least you'll get to, you know, sharpen up your blaster skills, you know, make sure your blaster's working fine. And at the most we can help these people, you know. So, and then he looks up at the stars, and Baby Yoda does the same. I don't know. It's a good scene. It is a great scene. Rob says everyday scene in Toronto. Was this filmed near Toronto? I don't think so. That'd be cool.
And Bill Barker says the entire Millennium Falcon exists in 3/4 scale. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, perfect. They built that. And it's obviously a standing set, which they can disassemble, but they don't do too much. But yeah, exactly. I think they probably did that. I think it's very useful for them. No, I like this introduction. They wrote her really well. I really appreciate she's not just sassy. She's got her own it's sort of professional sassy.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh, Dreamer out there's PayPal just came in. Another $6.39 Canadian.
oh, hey,
Mandalorians took off helmets all the time in Star Wars Clone Wars and in Star Wars Rebels, so something happened to the clans between Rebel and Return of the Jedi for them to be where they are now, not able to remove their helmets.
well, they got massacred, didn't they?
Yeah.
No, I agreed, absolutely. I always love after the first episode, there was an edit where we never took off a helmet, and it cuts to Rebels, and it's like, cut. It's like, yes. Yeah. I mean, Sabine didn't have one on except in battle, so it was the exact opposite. But we learn more about that this episode, so it's fine.
So they arrive at the village, and the kids come running up, and he's like, oh, they're glad that...
Oh. You'll look at the stars, and so does Baby Yoda.
Yes.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But then they arrive,
yes.
And all the kids come rushing up, and he's like, oh, they look like they're happy to see us. And again, she crosses her legs, and she has a smile on her face, like, kids are cute. You know, she's not coming across as this gruff, don't care attitude, which I really appreciate.
Originally, when they said... when they introduced her, I thought, based on her armor, she was an ex-Imperial.
I did too. Yeah.
Mercenary, because whatever they said could have been either. And they said Shock Trooper and Rebel at the end. I was like, oh, does that help? But if she was a Rebel, that does mean that she was a nice person at the start. So obviously, the tone is going to be different based on that.
Yeah, and I was really hoping she wasn't a bad guy in this, because she was obviously a bad guy in Deadpool. And I liked her just fine, just she came across as...
Yeah. Not
the kind of attitude I like necessarily. This one, it's good that she's, well, at least for now, she's a good person. I don't know if that's going to change at some point, but it's nice to see that. I'm glad that she's actually not a bad guy in this show so far. So
ENG09, how are we, Stuart? How are we? I'll see. This rhymes.
You're good, but our volumes are off apparently, which makes us not good. But little Baby Yoda is cute, and he likes the kids, and the kids like him.
When they say him, everyone calls him him this one, so I'm guessing it's now a gendered alien. Although I think, obviously, if it's a clone of Yoda, then that might be the hint that, yeah.
Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $1.99.
Thank you.
Why is Baby Yoda so damn cute? LOL. Because why not?
Well designed.
I've been wondering that the whole time I've been watching this show, and it's it's so that guys' girlfriends will watch this show with them. So when the guy's like, hey, I want to watch this new Star Wars show. Look, it's Baby Yoda. Oh my God, it's so cute. It's like, yeah, you want to watch it with me? You know, it's bringing people together is what it is. Baby Yoda is like the Force. He binds the universe together.
If you've got your girlfriend to watch it with you and enjoy it, then you might get laid after it, because just that damn cute.
Right.
But this is a great example. I mean, just the lighting of the puppet. I mean, it's lit, like that's real sun, so it looks tremendous. I mean, just great design.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the set of this. I mean, it's very Baku in a sense, although it's also very cheap. Yeah, because I mean, these huts are just straw huts. I mean, how much does it make to buy 6,000 bamboo struts and then just build 12 huts? But I have the feeling there's like 5 and they set extension the rest, which would make sense. I mean, then you also have lighting reference, because if you build a few, then you know exactly how they're lit. So it's quite cleverly done. Small, but they could have built all for real. Like they could have. It's another one of those things where I think they put the money into build a big set, which they'll use more than one episode, and then it'll recoup the costs of that. So you have 2 episodes on one set. That's a lot of money, which you can afford to build if a lot of it's just set budget.
Anyway, she puts him up in the barn. She apologizes. That's the only space they have, but he's like, it's fine. She's like, I put blankets out for you. He's like, that's very kind of you. Again, he's being very nice, very personable.
Yeah, he's really, quite humble in this one.
Yeah. When the daughter walks up, he like spins around, almost ready to take somebody out. And so he's alert anyway. We get introduced to her daughter, which is fine. And we got a great shot of the village from the top with the ponds, and it looks very cool. It's a great design.
Yeah, that's all CG, but it's beautiful. because they filmed it not there. That's fine.
And Jarzia, again, I'll have to wait for your PayPal to come in because it's being slow for some reason today. So once it comes in, I'll read it, okay?
One thing I liked about this scene is that they filmed this on location. Like, that's not great. Their hut's actually behind them. You can tell based on the lighting. And they risked that. Like, it looks like quite a cheap hut. But then you get the reality of the light pouring through, the bad contrast between the in and the out. Like, it feels very grungy and real.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's now weirdly shot. Because, like, the sky is totally blown out and the darks are really dark. So, that's right. You know? It's good. It's right decisions, I think. Although, yeah, what if it rains and there's very little privacy? There's not even a door. I mean, I guess it's the barn, but...
Exactly, yeah.
Still.
But yeah,
We'll get into it later.
we will.
Oh my god, baby, there's a crib. Didn't notice that.
Yeah, they put him in a crib. And she brings him food. Again, he says, that's very kind of you, thank you. And then the kid's like, can I feed him? Sure. Can I play with him? Sure.
He's like, yeah, I mean... At this point, it's kind of like they treat him like a dog.
A little bit. Although she, the widow there, she makes reference to your boy.
A lot.
And so does, yeah. It's not my boy. Do we look alike? I guess you wouldn't know because I haven't taken my helmet off. I'm not have my ears folded like.
That's true.
But
he's not green with pointy ears. It could just be strapped up around his head like Spock's ears with the, just more.
Yeah.
But I find it weird though, and I'll go into this now about how they treated Baby Yoda in this one. That he's just the plaything in the entire episode. Like the fact that he can't speak is a real hindrance here because he has no interactive ability apart from like that's just a baby or a dog. And the kids really love him that much, and it just felt a bit like, oh, what does Baby Yoda do in this episode? Literally nothing. Cool, he's cute. Moving on.
It's like a living doll that the
Yeah,
kids just absolutely love and they can hang out with.
it's weird. Again, this is the focus of the story, and it takes a massive backseat. I was expecting like one little step forward, and it can do a force thing. Like maybe it could like we cut to a shot of Baby Yoda and the kids, and he's levitating a ball and throwing it at them, like to play catch. Like they need something like that to keep progressing the Baby Yoda story because they really take a dump on it in this one.
Yeah.
Like,
Speaking of taking a dump, Jarzia just
okay.
His PayPal just came in. It dumped into our account.
Oh, there
You
we
took
go.
that the totally wrong way.
Wow.
So thank you. Sent in $5 Canadian. Thank you, Jarzia. As soon as they knew about the ATST, they should have planned to steal it, have one of them hide in a tree and have the other draw the walker out and lure it past the other one who can jump on top and open the hatch and kill the drivers if they capture it. Defeating the rest of the raiders will be easy, and they can sell the walker and the raiders' equipment, then split the pay to make the job worthwhile. That's great, but I don't think there's any drivers in that ATST, which we'll talk about. Because there's a lot of scenes where it's like you see in through those windows down where the two pilots should be, and there's nobody in there.
Oh.
Could be AI controlled. It could be remote controlled.
Well, that's a whole conversation. Obviously, that's a big plot point. So we'll get there when we get there.
Yes.
I guess we both have thoughts.
Yes.
Then she's like, "Can I go play with him out?" And he's like, "What? No."
I don't think that he'll be fine. I don't think that he'll be fine. Oh, okay.
I was like, wait, sorry. Have you ever seen this species before? Oh no. So do you know what it's capable of? No. So you think it's safe? You know he's being hunted by the Empire? Nah, it's fine. It really is weird. The tonal shift from last episode is just completely 180.
I haven't carved out the tracker unit that's been placed in his body yet.
Do you want to talk about that now or later?
Later.
Okay.
It could be tuned to his DNA or something. I don't know. But
we'll get there.
We'll get there when we get there.
And why is this woman sort of flirting with him in the scene? It's like she talks
because she's a lonely widow. Because she's a lonely widow and she's got a kid. She's raising a kid by herself, and this handsome stranger strolls into town.
Handsome armor. Is that enough?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, baby.
I have a fetish for Mandalorian armor. Boy, I'm a lucky woman. Keep it on at all times.
But it's the same shit that happens in like episodes of Stargate. Like, oh.
Yes, but you can see their
stay
face.
with us. I know this. I know this.
It feels terribly forced and dumb.
It was, yeah, I agree.
It's fine at the end, because you could say they spent, well, I say weeks together. That's fine. Not just like,
Mhm.
ooh, hello, any race of, you could be any race right now. You could look any. I mean, that's hey, that's fine. Any alien, any race, but you could have different parts to me. You could be totally incompatible. You could be a meanie. You're a mercenary. Like, it's just weird. It's weird to jump right into that for nothing.
Yeah. Well, she asks, when was the last time you took that off? And he's like, yesterday.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, in front of somebody else. And he points out the window and says, I was probably about their age.
Yes.
She's like, really? You haven't shown your face to anybody since you were a child?
Mm.
And we hear about him being rescued by the Mandalorians and raised by them, so he owes them and all this. And she's like, oh, okay, well, here's some food. And then she leaves, and he takes his helmet off, and he's staring out the window at the kids. Now, if all it takes is one kid to turn and look. But I guess it doesn't matter if it's kids, I assume. I don't know.
Because he explicitly said, if people, what happens if you take your helmet off and reveal yourself to people? I can never put it back on again.
Yeah. Well, he says that later, but yeah.
But that's the context. So what if one random guy walked by and was like, "Oh, you're black." What? No. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. I just shoots him. And was like, okay, it's fine. No one saw my face. Because I mean, I was wondering this the entire all 3 episodes. That I mean, what?
I just pictured a whole scene in my head. You see the other side of the barn. You see the guy walk by, look, and go, "Oh, you look familiar." All of a sudden, you hear a blaster. It's okay. There's no witnesses.
Yeah.
And that's all you hear. And then you go to the next scene. Anyway, sorry.
The kids are so focused on Baby Yoda they don't see the murder. No, the whole time I was thinking, okay, so this armor is incredibly specialized, incredibly high-end, incredibly legacy. So he never takes it off, and that's the implication, literally never. I assumed, okay, it injects food into you. It takes stuff out of your bowel. Like, it's so connected that you don't need to take it off.
Are you going to show the scene, the still of the helmet, though, on the thing?
I was part of the history of it, but yes, I can
Sorry.
go back to that. That's fine.
Off your dinner.
So that was my assumption, is that, okay, maybe it's designed to be worn for 8 days at a time. It can feed you. It can, And then he's like, oh, I took it off. It's like, oh, really? You do just take it off? Wow, okay. So how do you eat? Oh, I just take it off and eat. It's like, oh. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean he took it off in front of Baby Yoda? Because he counts as a person? I assume so. I guess just went downstairs.
That's a good question. That's a very good question. I would assume he does take it off in front of him just because he's a baby.
Baby Yoda, I need a shit. Go to the carpet. You can't see my face. No, go. Don't watch. Don't stay. I have no more of that yet, because he always doesn't always told. Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, oh, you can just take it off. I kind of thought it was like one battle armor suit. So the context of it felt like that. I don't know about you, if that got the same impression, if that surprised you at all, but it just takes it off.
No, it didn't surprise me. I expected as much, but yeah, I was still curious as to how he ate and stuff. We talked about that last review.
Yeah.
If that was the thing, he never takes it off. It's like, he never takes it off, ever. It's like, what? That's just stupid. How does he sleep?
Yeah, well, yeah. And it was really weird that in front of the kids, that was a badly directed scene. Because, like, I'm assuming he sleeps in every day because there's no door, the window's open, he's got cracks in the thing, so he can't insist no one's going to walk in on him accidentally. Like, or ask, if he oversleeps, someone walks in and he's, got a duvet over his chest, not his head. They walks in and say, "Oh, I'm sorry." He's like, "Oh no, you saw my face."
You're talking like Batman, man.
I know.
Batman could do the same thing. You saw my face.
I'm Batman. But
Don't look at me.
It felt It felt very strange. Like they didn't understand their own scene.
He is kind of like Batman. He's got no parents. It's fine.
Take a dump, just a helmet on.
Yes.
Yeah, pajamas, like boxers with like giraffes on them with his helmet.
I actually saw a picture like that. It's him sitting on the toilet from the side. He's got his helmet on, but I don't remember the
Just walks around scratching his ass, but he's naked but his helmet. It's like, I'm fine. Technically, I'm fine. It's fine.
Anywho.
But to be what I mean, it was weird from the kids, especially.
And Rob keeps saying if he reveals himself, accidents are just embarrassing. I mean, yeah, but is there differentiation there for the Mandalorians? I don't know.
Yes, 43 people have seen me, but all on accident. And one was on accident. Like, that's not, what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then it's just your fault for letting him do it.
Yeah.
You know.
But next scene, they're out tracking the band of whatever, and you see all the footprints, and they also see that something big has come through here. And they find a print, and it says ATST. And as soon as I heard ATST, I was like, "Oh my god, yes!" I'm so excited. Like I said, at that first scene where you hear like them coming, I expected like walkers or something to be coming through the trees, destroy this village. Whether ATSTs or ATATs, I don't care. AT-ATs, whatever you want to call them.
I love that.
That's exactly what I expected for that scene. So anyway, sorry.
I love that the doctor says, "Get Bat-Sam a lozenge."
Yes.
That's great. I called out that it was some sort of creature or big mech when the footprint. I was like, oh, okay. I thought it would be something new, like an alien mech. Or when they said ATSD, I was thinking, ooh, Empire reveal. There's a secret base here. I thought that was going to be more interesting. I mean, it does make sense that many people could steal or buy an ATST, especially at the end of, It makes sense. It's just, it would have been, I was expecting a different side plot from that, rather than just they had happened to have one.
Yeah. I thought the same thing, like how'd they get this? But then it's like the Empire is defunct now, so a lot of their stuff would probably be sold off by whoever managed to capture one or take one down or whatever.
Well, arms dealers. You find
Yeah.
But it is weird because they seem to have a base which is running distance from the farmers as a parked ATSD, and they raided them once. So what, did they fly to this planet, pick this farm, landed, set up base camp, running distance away, dropped a walker from their ship, and then attack it every couple of days to get resources?
No, I assume they're from the planet, first of all. They live on the planet, and they got the ATST somehow, like from an arms dealer. And they've attacked before. You get that in the context of the story. They say that they've been attacked multiple times by these people. That's why they want help getting rid of them.
My assumption was from the first time we saw it, like they were new, they just got into the area.
No, they said that it's been an ongoing thing. That's why they want the Mandalorian to help. Because they don't want to have to move off their land, which is, again, comes up later as well, because our grandfathers seeded these ponds.
But if they're in the middle of nowhere, that means these mercenaries these raiders specifically just attack these guys.
No, I would assume they'd attack other small things around as well.
But yet there's a running distance camp with the ATSD. So obviously they've targeted these dudes.
They're probably nomads. They probably go from place to place and, hang out for a few months, get all the resources they can, then move on to another part.
So I was just waiting for like a bigger reveal. Like an Empire connection or something.
Again, I don't think it was needed. I think it fits perfectly. This is very, very, very similar to Caravan of Courage or the Ewok Adventure. Same kind of vibe. Just another group of people that live on the same moon or same planet that are they're raiders. Anyway.
Yeah.
So they go back and talk to the villagers, and he's like, "Nope, we can't stay here anymore."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, great bedside manner."
Yep.
He's like, "Can you do better?" Well, I couldn't do any worse.
Great.
So she goes up. She goes up and say, "Listen, we can't do it. You guys asked. You got this big ATST. Well, what's that? It's that big ass thing with guns on it that you didn't tell us about because you probably knew about it."
Yeah, that was weird. And they're like, "We didn't know. What do you want from us?" So I think they must be new, otherwise you would have thought they'd hear it. But then again, they don't need it because they're farmers without any weapons.
I got the impression they did know about it though.
Well, they say they don't. They say, "But we don't know about that."
Must have missed that.
Yeah. It's the throwaway line.
Anywho.
Because they're just like, what?
Anyhow, she's like, there's only 2 of us. We can't defeat that walker. He's like, oh, 2 of you? There's like 20 of us. I mean fighters, dumbass.
Well,
you can train us. Yeah. And then something interesting happens. The Mandalorian says, who here can shoot? And just the widow puts her hand up and she looks around like she didn't want anyone to know. And then later, she's the only one that's pinging the target every time. And then later, she kicks the shit out of some people. So she's got a backstory that we don't know about, and I don't know if it's going to come up again in the future, but I hope not because I don't care. But she's obviously somebody that's done something because she's got all this skill with a blaster and with some fighting skills. So
Well,
I don't know. It's weird.
like I said, this is a show where they can make big things if they reuse. They reuse the dude with the hut that was his friend twice. That made the money worthwhile. They used the camp with the Imperial guy at least 3 times. They're using things. So they're gonna be back here. She's gonna play a role. Ex-Imperial. She's a widower. Her husband died as an Imperial scientist. She ran away. She's here. She learned to fight with him. That'll be a very normal cliche thing, and because she's got personal, that's why they made us think she fancies him and have a connection. Because then he'll be even more like, no, random lady who sort of fancies me, I can't let you die. So we're gonna get there. He's gonna come back and try and save the place.
And Fleet Pass Swiftback puts in $1.99 and says, "Ooh, Widow is a Jedi or was married to one." I'm not implying that at all. If anything, she was a rebel soldier or an ex-Imperial or something that's living off the grid right now.
Yeah.
But I never got the sense of a Force user at all.
No. The opposite, really. Just a person who learned to fight in a bad time.
Yeah.
And Joseph Meditzes says, sometimes, Samuel, the bad guy doesn't need a big reveal like Samurai 7. They're just Roman bad guys. Oh, I know, but then they're just forgettable no-ones that you don't care about. But this show has not been about that. It's been about this show's been the opposite to that, you know? So it's just not this show's format, which is why it's weird that it's suddenly in. Ex-Mandalorian. No, I doubt that.
No. So... Then she's an ex-shock trooper. She knows what to do. She's going to tell you guys what to do. She's going to train you guys. She's going to give you each assignments
with sticks
or groups of assignments. And so there's the training montage. She's like, they decided, okay, we're going to dig a deep trench here for the ATST. We'll get it in there. So everybody starts digging. We get some
stick
training. Yep. Well, they set up barricades, so the ATST has to go through that one spot to get into the thing. And then we get this, the hand-to-hand combat training and the blaster training, and that's where we find out. Yeah, that's where we find out that she's good with a rifle.
But in all honesty, though, these people shot just as well as stormtroopers did.
This is true.
So they're completely Imperial trained. You know they're all Imperial trained because they shoot just as well. That's a joke my dad said. I'm not stealing it. Well, I'm stealing it, but I'm giving credit.
That's good.
Equally as well trained.
But she's hitting that pot every time. Ding, 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 ding.
Ding. Yeah, it's good. It's a good gentle.
And he looks impressed. He looks over at her and he nods his head and then looks straight ahead. He's like, "What the hell? Who is this lady that can shoot?"
And the fact that you read that from a non face is great. You did a good job.
Yeah, he does a fantastic job in that armor. The subtle little head nods, and I think he does a fantastic job. So
I think we are also we're assigning a motivation to him throughout this. Every scene we think we know how he feels. That kind of helps. Like, oh, he feels emotion here. Yeah, I can see it in his lack of expression or emotion. But I have a problem. When they say, right, the ATST, massive point is made of we can't do anything, nothing that's planned to take out the legs.
I know exactly where you're going with this because I'm looking at the same picture. Before you even started talking, I was going to mention it, but go ahead.
And I thought, okay, it is a vehicle of war, great. The problem is, in Return of the Jedi, they were made to look like pussies by teddy bears. So for me, an ATST is a zero threat entity because it was destroyed by teddy bears. So therefore, there's no threat here. But she's like, it's the it's like, no.
Well, I've seen it take out squads of troops. She says.
And yet, teddy bears. It really. They should have been Wookiees. Well, George Lucas was dumbass.
So you're not. No, I disagree. I disagree. Anyway, she says nothing on this planet can take down that ATST. And the whole time I'm thinking, Endor dipshit. But anyway.
And I thought, this guy's a Mandalorian. I'm sure he has something. He's silent. He's like, yeah, I have nothing at all. It's like
one of those explosive attached to one of the hinges on the leg would take it out. I'm pretty sure.
Their total lack of abilities. Now, the thing is though, the difference being same with the AT-ATs is that you've got to get it down, and the shields go down, then you can blow up its physical body. So I got the sense that the legs are like armor reinforced, but the chassis is vulnerable. And it's like, okay, but they were never a threat, even though really they are a threat because they can go pew pew pew, dead. And then I thought these barricades are worthless because they can just shoot the barricades and also
Yep.
shoot atop the hill. Like,
Well, yeah.
they're not a threat, and they can murder everyone in this village if they want to. It's weird.
I look at these barricades, and it's like an ATS, you could just walk right through those. First of all, second of all,
Yeah, wood is not going to defeat metal.
at
Sorry.
at that line, looking how close that village is, it's well within that ATST's blaster range. It could just level all those buildings.
Yep.
Standing right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again,
Jeff Jacobs though puts in $2 and says, "So Mando just carry guns to supply a platoon."
Yes.
We mentioned it earlier. He took his whole armory off the ship because I think he was shell shocked from what the Jawas did. He didn't want it to happen again, just in case.
I really feel like he would have like a rocket launcher in his arsenal. Like he's a bounty hunter to deal with any situation, but he can't deal with one ATST. One. He's not. But I've said before, he's not a very good Mandalorian. Like he's a relatively low tier guy. He's very beatable. You're
putting this stigma on the ATST that it's a piece of shit, is what we saw in Return of the Jedi. But in the games and stuff, I mean, they're a pretty substantial threat. Whenever I see one in a game and I'm on foot, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Because there's a few of them in Fallen Order. They're not hard to take down, but they're not easy to take down at the same time. So...
Well, it's funny you mention games, because I've killed so many in games as well, like with vehicles and with rocket launchers. They're also very, they're the lower tier of...
Yeah, they are.
It just feels weird that he should have something, like, just already. I was expecting more of a plan than... Like, the trench idea was okay, because I was expecting it to go in the trench, and then they would jump on the top, open the canopy, go in. Now you've taken it out. That I thought was logical. That was logical, at least. But, yeah, it should kill everybody. Yeah, it's just weird to reassign a big threat. It's like if you went from... It's like in the movies, right? If you went from aliens to alien, from 100 to 1, and it's the same threat, but you have guns. It's like if you still had all the same guns. Alien 3 was different because they had no guns. Just a bit weird, but I appreciate they at least tried to make it effective again.
I, for one, love ATSTs, so I want them to be effective. So there you go.
Oh, no, yeah, it was nice to be a threat. Like, it was... But it held back thoroughly.
So next scene is the, hey, goodbye. Next time I see you, you're going to be coming in hot.
I liked that. I thought that was fun.
Let's go. And then, needless... I'm looking at you because I love you scene bullshit. Moving along.
Well, I like actually saying, right, we are going, so next time you see me, that's when the battle starts. Like, they're going to... Like, I thought that was nice. Like, it wasn't just like... Right, it starts at 4 p.m. and we're gonna go attack. So, when you hear us, it's starting. Yeah.
But then they go and they check out the camp, and of course we got glowing blue beverages because future.
I love that. Yeah. I thought that was nice. Now he looks more like the dude. That's a better makeup.
Yeah. So they take them out. They see another group. They go into the tent, and it looks like that's actually vats of that alcohol.
I assume so.
Yeah, because it's got the same glow. They look vat size. So why not? Sure. They plant a bomb on it.
Yeah.
And
as soon as they got in here, I was expecting her to be like, "Wait, is that the extremely explosive Thrason gas? Only the Empire has Thrason gas. Dum dum dum." But actually, I think now that we're looking at it, and actually I've upgraded the brightness because dark. This is a shitty cloth tent, and yeah, I think you're right. I think this is a mobile camp, and they're just brewing their booze because they're gonna kill people, steal stuff, get drunk. Those are their three things they do. So they're just making their own booze based on the shrimp.
And Rob, yeah, he makes that. They steal the krill to make their beer.
Yeah.
That sounds disgusting, but okay, I'd buy it.
I mean, why else show them at the beginning being that blue?
True. Jarazia throws in $2 Canadian. Nuka Cola Quantum.
Love it. Love it. But I just thought I expected a little bit more. But yeah, the simplicity is fine as well. And then they come in, I guess, to get more booze. They should have said it was booze. They should have said that. That would have been useful. Then a bit of a fighty fight. But it's loud enough to get everyone else involved. And I got the sense here there was very few of these people. like a dozen, maybe. But in the battle later on, even though about 8 get killed, another dozen run away. So I guess there's like lots. Feels like a respawning army of who cares, you know?
Yeah, my computer's just basically died, so I'm going to have to either go by the pictures on your screen or restart. So
Well, you're still Skyping on mine.
I know Skype's beautiful, internet's working, but Microsoft Windows has crashed. I got black screens on the background. This happened the other day too.
But you can see me.
I can see you. I can see the chat.
Oh wow, that's.
But I can't scroll through my pictures and make my points.
Well, I mean, hey, I'm happy for you to restart. I can just chat to the audience for a bit.
Okay, be right back, guys.
Okay. Bye.
Sorry.
Alrighty, abrupt little end there. Let me swap to a other video version of me while I talk to you all. There we go. Fine people. Hi. Should be about 5 minutes or less. So yeah, what do you guys want to talk about then? For the next little bit, as you've got only me, but hopefully that's enough. And yes, the micro thermal detonator used not necessarily detonator, but it's detonator-esque, which is already used once in this show so far. Well, OBS, come on. Come on, let me select the thing I want to select. There we go. There we go. Okay. Hi. What's the chat saying? We shall be waiting, Stuart. Sam, you're live. I am. Thribs. Looking forward to the Bond trailer? I think so. I don't know. I mean, the last Bond was pretty good. The one before that was awful, and I didn't like Cinderella that much. It was an okay film, but it wasn't a great Bond film. It wasn't Bond yet. That was kind of the point, though. I don't know. I have no idea what the story is or anything, so I have nothing to know yet. I mean, I watched the trailer, at least at the good music, but given the world we live in right now with, so wokeness, it'll be interesting to see how a character like James Bond will exist. Because when Skyfall came out, that wasn't really a thing. That wasn't in the pop culture, wasn't in the zeitgeist. Yeah, wow, 2012 was Skyfall. Wow, that's a long time ago. Wow, yeah, the wokeness wasn't. You know, it could just be a James Bond film then, and now, wow, 7 years in between. How old is he? 51. Okay, well, I guess he started quite young. That's weird. 51. A long time ago. Hi. Oh, Jarza, I'm hoping to get a Chiss character. Yes! Please, the Chiss are important. Very, very much needed. Team MRHS. When does your next fan film come out? Well, if you guys know, we just released, or the team just released Demons Part 1 and Part 2, which included my custom TOS-ish era Klingon Bird of Prey. I've got Romulan War, which is... we had to scrap something, which is kind of good because it was complicated. So should come out before the end of the year, or like right at the start of next year. I've got one more thing I've got to do, and he's got one more thing he's got to do. If he includes that bit. And that's got a lot of shots, and that's very dense. Yorktown, Time to Heal, that is again very close to being done. It'll be middle of next year, easy. The next Avalon film will be in January. As well as next Indiegogo, so do look out for that. The full big episode 3 is a really good storyline. I helped a little bit with the canoniness. So they had a concept. That's just something that rather than doing random alien, I said, try this, and they loved it and they did it. Gonna be a lot of fun. It's some really nice CGI for that. That's just fun to see. Not battles, but fun to see. So the next one will be in January. Indiegogo for that, and then you'll be able to see the next one after that as well. That was quick. Wow, that was quick. Well done.
Back up and running again. All right.
I remember to turn off my webcam video so that let Skype use it. Nice. People just asked what my next fan film is, so I just talked about that for a few minutes.
Cool.
Nice. Why is that bigger now? So do that. And then, so where were we then?
Oh, yes. They beat up a bunch of people in the brewery. And then more come in. So he says, I'll cover you. He blasts a couple holes in the tent. She jumps through the tent.
Yeah.
They jump out, and just in time because it explodes.
Yeah.
And it exploded.
I quite like the explosion too. It's not trying to be a big explosion. It's just big enough. Which I like.
Yeah. But that gets the attention of the walker. And here you see the red eyes, which is just the interior cockpit, which is fine for night operations. It's either green or red usually in night operations, so you can see things a little bit better. But the whole time I'm thinking, are there people in that? And there's a few shots later where you actually kind of see in, and there's nobody in there. So it raises the question of, is this walker actually manned or not? Or is it just haunted? Maybe it's a ghost. It looks like one because it's got... I love the markings on it. It's very...
And I love how people are saying perfect volume now, despite me not changing anything. See, sometimes it's the Skype, it's the technology, because I was fine on my end.
Well, there you go. That's good then that happened.
Good,
maybe.
But it shows up.
Maybe there's something on my end that was affecting your computer because...
Wow, it's just a Skype. It was a very I think it was a good use of budget. That it's hard to do night because you got to integrate it all well, but it's like you can't see it very well. Like I was wondering, is it an ATST variant? Like, I mean, it's obviously customized a bit, but not like more just in the sense of it's got a custom paint job rather than like I was hoping it looks thinner at the top. To me.
It does. It looks sleeker. And later when it shuts down for a second, the guns on the side move in.
Yeah.
So I think it is a different version of the ATST.
I have seen classic ones do that. You know, the games and stuff.
Okay.
That is the thing they do. Yeah, the red was weird. Maybe, I like that sort of night mode, attack mode. But it definitely was stylistic. Like, look, it's the villain.
Yeah, but I mean, it does seem like it's not operated by anybody, which makes me wonder if the red is actually an indication of AI control or remote control, because we see even in the trailer for Rise of Skywalker, C-3PO goes with the red eyes. So is that because he just AI control or remote control? Who knows?
I mean,
could be a thing.
I didn't think it was AI control, and I'll get into why in a minute. So let's just keep going on. So they've got a defensive line with blasters that will not defeat the thing. They've got spikes which will not defeat the thing. And the people also blasters too. And then I love how much smoke they added to this set. All they added that to the set. It was great.
It's not smoke. It's supposed to be like fog coming out of the ponds, right?
Well, yeah, but they had a smoke machine going.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm saying. It's a good effect. And then the eyes come out. I love the trees moving. La 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 comes out. And then obviously you're thinking, okay, it's gonna blast them.
Yeah, it should just start blasting away. Just blast that defensive line. Because what they're hiding behind is not going to be stopping those blaster bolts.
But you've got to think now the motivation element. Like, so someone attacked their base, they went after them. They happened to end up at the village, but if all they're there is stealing the krill, the whatever, to make the booze, then they don't want to harvest the krill, so they got to let the people live to get the krill. So if they kill everybody, they're out of booze. So I guess they got to scare them. But I guess they don't explain it. It feels very. It's like, okay, shoot them. Why aren't you shooting them? What's the point? Like, it feels very hollow. This entire sequence. That there's no. They haven't spelled out the point, and without the point, it just feels like a lack of context. Which is because if they're raiders, they will kill. But it's like, don't introduce a tank and don't use it. It's weird. I think
you're looking way too far into it, because I really enjoyed it. I didn't need an explanation for why they're doing what they're doing. It's just a nice, tight little bow episode, you know? I think going too far into villains' motivations and things like that just sometimes isn't needed, in my opinion, anyway.
But I just mean if when they'd walked in and seen the vats, they said, "Oh, they're stealing the things to make booze." That's weird. Done. Like, because if there's no motivation, they will kill them all. Because you're saying there's no motivation, then them not murdering is stupid villains, and then who cares? Like, the other three were so good. This is not good in the same way. There's a lack of thought here that I really is a shame. Especially since this walker, right? It steps forward into this water, right? Then it looks down in like a organic sort of like I'm thinking. So it's very it moves in a very moving, but I'm frozen.
Like a T-Rex kind of way because it was
Yeah.
directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, who was in Jurassic
That's
World.
great.
So there you go.
That's great. Oh, I love that.
Well,
Myself, yeah.
And the thing too is when it looks down, you get a good look inside that cockpit. You should be able to see the two pilots there. I know what the inside of an ATST looks like because I built one, a model of one. There's nobody there.
I mean, I would assume they could just rebuild the interior how they wanted.
No, there's no room in there to rebuild the interior. There's 2 seats. That's it.
Well, and a Wookiee can jump in and...
and what?
Well, can jump in and move and fight, vaguely. But it felt weird. Like it.
Well, yeah, there's a little bit of a bench at the back, but we got a couple of PayPals, by the way. But
okay.
Martin sends $10 US with no comment.
Oh, thank you.
And we also got one from... Well, another one from Martin, another $10. I don't know if it's the same one, just redone, but it was like 10 minutes later. So, and then Jarzia throws in $5. The red is just because it's operating at night. You see red in AT-AT windows in games and such at night too. Newer commercial trucks have red lights in the cabin too, so your partner can do paperwork at night with blinding the driver. Since turning a light on the cab will cause glare. Yeah. That's why I mentioned the night visibility, but there's no one in the goddamn cockpit. So why? It's just to make it look cool. Look evil, and it works. I think it's cool. And I've never seen red inside of ATSTs in games, just for the record. Yeah. But I could,
you just play. When do you ever fight Star Wars games in the night? I can't actually think of a single time I fought them in the night. Yeah, and this whole scene makes you think like, because I mean they've got sensors. They don't need to look down. You know what I mean? It felt really strange. So I'm wondering. I don't think it's AI controlled, because if it is AI controlled, then that adds a whole other level to this. Of now they're raiders. They found a thing. They made it AI controlled, which has never been done before, which is mega advanced. Like it adds way more questions which they aren't trying to answer. So you assume it's not AI controlled because that's too much you're adding into it with no evidence.
But it's clearly not piloted by anyone. So what's the other alternative?
You just can't see. I mean. Well,
later there's another shot where you get to see inside as well. There's no one in this cockpit.
I assume
I'm sorry.
They got smacked and went unconscious. They're on the side that you couldn't see. Was my assumption there.
There's not enough room in there. I can go get my model if you want. You can see the little pilots. There's not enough room. Even if you slouched over the side, you'd see them.
Remember, we're living in an age where 300 fighters can exist in the Enterprise's shuttle bay, and no one gives a shit.
That's true. So there could be a whole crew of like 60 people in that thing.
Yep. It's just a weird sequence because, yeah. But I do like the spotlight approach, and actually this shot is actually okay. This full on front, where it's in between the barricades, and also on the chat said they've rebuilt the legs. This does look pretty effed up. This is a rebuilt Walker. Those are not the dimensions of a Walker. Those legs are not the same. They're not identical. Surely.
And yeah, the legs look like they've been cobbled together a little bit. But Dreamer out there says, Trekyards, there's a toy for this for the Mandalorian toys, and it comes with a pilot. So there you go. I guess it's confirmed it has a pilot, but there really is no way to see a pilot. So anyway, whatever. Small thing.
See, we each have our things we have pet peeves on. Mine is having more plot, and yours is having logical pilot. Although I am looking at a... Oh, good. Wow, everyone went away there. Okay. But I'm looking at side by side with a really, really good picture of a walk. I think it's one of the games, and the dimensions are basically identical, so it's probably not that custom.
And that picture you're talking about is 100% accurate, because I built the model, and there's these two things that separate the legs. They can go quite far apart, or they can go quite close to the body. So that's actually 100% legit. Okay,
so not rebuild, just a very classic one.
But the lower part looks like it's got stuff wrapped around it, like it's holding something together. duct tape.
But I like the spotlight bit 'cause it's very like old style action, like World War action. But I was waiting for it to start shooting. I don't know.
Yeah, some great shots of it with the spotlight on. I really like that.
But I like the fact that it shoots the building, clears a warning shot. It's like, that's what I can do. F off. It's like, but then they charge with bats and not with guns.
I guess.
It's like, where's the logic of this sequence? If you've got them subdued, fine. Like, it's better to go with blasters on stun. If you're gonna disable them, stun everybody, then tie them all up and bitch slap them in the morning, saying, right, do this for us now. Why are they running at them with clubs and to get murdered? Again, this episode has a lot of lack of thought because what's the point? They're running at them with bars despite having blasters earlier. It's nonsensical. This isn't written by the same clever people, even though it is, but it's stupider than the first three, which is a shame.
And John Ford says the possibility that since they treat ATSTs like tanks, the crew could operate it with their heads down and not visible. Well, yes, they can. They can close the shutters and use the monitors. But the seat is in a position where you're going to see the person's head if those are open. There's no way to get it lower. Just saying. So it's a little bit of annoyance for me because it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. I'm going to just assume they've AI'd it up or they got somebody back there with a big remote control. Like,
Eugene says it's different enough so that Lucas won't get any royalties. Oh, but Lucas went to the set and was friends with them.
That picture you're on, is it just me or does it look like the lower half of the right leg is missing?
Yeah, it's the smoke, but it's, yeah.
Yeah, it looks odd.
It's a great looking war movie, though.
Yeah.
And it shows that one tank should be effective, so therefore makes Return of the Jedi even more stupid. You know? It's weird.
And that, a few scenes later, or a few pictures, see the spotlight on with the distance between them, like a no man's land, and then the village. That's such a great shot. I'm using that as a wallpaper right now.
Yeah.
Because it's cool.
And that's a lot further.
And then you see it blasted.
That's a lot further than you think it's going to be, based on the other shots. But it's like, why would you run at them with blasters? Like, either lay down suppressing fire with the big tank, or don't run at them. They don't understand to be battles in this thing. It's weird.
Yeah.
And you always assume that Star Wars is set to kill. It's like, do they murder all these raiders, or do they stun them? I mean, stun, I think, has a different effect. At least for one.
It's a good question. I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, lots of murdering, lots of pew pew, some disintegration.
And if you look, there's a scene of the ATST close up, and you see it's got the spotlight on. You can see on the left leg closest to the camera, there's like X's. Yeah. Like things it's destroyed.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's pretty cool. It's a nice touch. I didn't notice that till just now.
And I thought the green on the chassis was sort of like, dirt and grime, but it's actually war paint as well. It is cool. I kind of wish it wasn't at night now, because it really has a weird horror film vibe without really doing justice to the like, it's trying not to be ATST. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's trying to be this epic killer tank thing. You know?
Yeah.
Baby Yoda's piloting it.
Maybe he is with the Force. Anyway, the thing is not stepping forward, so...
And Thrubis says, stun is seen as a blue circle when it fires. I doubt every single gun is a blue circle when it fires.
Yeah.
We know one or two guns do that. I doubt every gun on everything. That's why I said we know one. If that'd be weird to say all of that stun. That's daft.
Yeah. But she comes up with a plan. She grabs his gun, runs
why
forward.
Is the plan needed?
Because the thing is not walking forward. Yes. It knows that it's not... It shouldn't step in that water. So she runs up, jumps in, and starts shooting at it point blank range, which, again, I don't understand why it bothers to even come forward. I mean... Anyway. Really cool shot of it with when it blasts the ground, though, and there's some light reflecting on it. You can really see the detail in the metal.
And those are real sparks. Like, I love the classic Star Wars tropes. Yeah, well, spark bomb, brilliant. Yeah, it's weird. And this battle goes on for a while, with things keep pew-pewing, and yet there's like 20 of them run away at the end. It's like, Did they send 50? None with guns and all subdued by farmers with no experience?
Yeah.
Really? They're the shittiest raiders. Especially at the start, they were like, I'm action, I'm killer. They're the shittiest raiders. Yeah, they have an ATSD, which outguns everyone.
Yeah.
Not using guns. You know what I mean? It becomes a worthless battle if there's no logic put into it.
But then they get a good... Oh, sorry.
Well, then I'm thinking, why isn't the ATSD just shooting the ground? Because if you keep shooting the ground, it'll blow up the ground and kill her.
Yeah.
And also, she also can't destroy them
thing.
with her gun because it's a simple gun. Like, there's no threat here.
Yeah.
And if you started shooting, everyone else, like, she didn't protect people. If you just kill the civilians, then she probably won't want to fight you anymore and do something stupid.
But she sees it in the scope. She blasts it, which knocks out one of the shutter doors anyway. And it closes, which makes it stumble a little bit forward, and then it lands on the bank and slides in essentially. And I don't know. These things are shitty because once they fall, they're
dead.
Yeah. But then Mando runs up, throws in one of the bombs into the cockpit, and essentially just make sure it's dead. And that's the end of the battle, I guess.
And this is funny because, like you said earlier, I love the thing you said. This feels like a T-Rex. It's played like a creature. It moves like because it's not a. It's doing all these cool movements, and so when it shoots its eye, it's like, oh no, my eye. But in reality, it's just. Okay, we're gonna move the like. Why is it?
Well, it stumbled back, and then it put its foot forward again, and just a little too far, and it was on the edge, and it slipped in.
But it's played with everything moving in such unison, like it's an organic creature. It's not played like a robot. Because the force like explosion, like it's not blowing anything up. It's just shooting in, like.
The argument could be made there that there were pilots, and one of them got hit from that because it was right in the thing and got sparks in the face, kind of like this, hit the controls.
That's true. But then you zoom up, you don't see a person. That there should have been someone there.
Exactly. You should have seen a person at least once in this scene in there. That's all I'm saying.
They shouldn't have people to not be like, oh no, we're killing people. Because it feels like it explodes a little thing, but then why would it go back? It feels very... It feels like a dinosaur. And then why would it go forward? I don't know. It would go back. I don't know. It's weird. It
didn't go forward. It tried to correct itself, and it put its foot right almost where it was before, but just a little farther forward. That's all. And then it started to lose its balance and fell in. And
then he throws the thing in and just blows it up. Even though they're right, they could salvage it if they just kill the pilots.
Yeah.
And then everyone else runs away once they see their one advantage and all their blasters apparently, because they had no blasters themselves. They're like, oh no, we probably should have brought guns to this fight. Let's run away.
Well, they've raided this place a few times, you can assume, and now all of a sudden they all have blasters. It's like, we didn't expect that shit. What the hell? So, I think it works.
Yeah, and they run away, and the people don't murder them all because they're going to come back and kill you back. It's like they're going to come back and do worse, probably.
I think that's why they stick around for a few weeks. Because in the next scene, they do say, we raised some real hell here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, real.
I didn't think that much time had passed, but when you see the village, the wreckage is gone of the ATST. All the barriers are down. So they stuck around long enough to make sure that wouldn't happen, or maybe they did sweeps of the area and took out the rest. I don't know what they did, but anyway.
Crib said could be a droid variant of an ATST.
I like that. I like that idea a lot.
That's a better idea. Because we saw BB-8 control it very organically. It makes
That's
sense
true.
Without the human reaction times, but we should have seen it have like a few droids. Then again, there are things that they didn't like you said, you don't care about them. But if they'd shown these little bits, it would have made it better.
I don't need those explanations though in most cases. I thought it was a good battle scene. I didn't even think about all this stuff.
The complaints are more valid. Like, if they don't explain them, it's like, it's good until you realize all the crap about it.
Yeah, but most people don't look at it in the detail that we do. They're like, that was a great scene. Next episode.
I know.
They don't care.
Though. They did care. So what happened with this one? Like, we had that. Because think about the first episode, they used the door to slice a guy. That's really clever thinking. Yeah. All these things. Then we get another Baby Yoda, almost
Chasing the one-eyed
eats it,
frog.
but he's like, "Oh, you guys are my friends. I won't eat it." And spits it out, and the frog's like,
Well,
"What did you do to me? Oh my god!"
the kids all freak out, and Baby Yoda's like, well, it's like wonder if he's going to become a vet, because it's almost like the kid's reaction was like,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this.
Oh, my friends.
So who knows?
Well, it implies that he got away with eating them for like 6 weeks, and then they caught him once. He was like, "My bad. Sorry, guys." Yeah, and the weeks thing really threw me for a loop. Like, that's a hell of a time jump. I'm sure that's important because it means that, the Imperials have now had several weeks to regain whatever plot they were doing.
And the bounty hunter has time to find them.
Yeah, that was important. I appreciate that. Yeah.
But then we have the conversation between the two of them. What happens if you take that off? I can just never put it back on again. She's like, oh, is that all? So you could stay here with that beautiful widow and raise your kid and be fine. And he's like, well, I'm going to leave him here because Baby Yoda's happy here. And she's like, well, I hate to be the one to tell him that. He'll get over it. They always do. And I thought, okay, well, we're going to actually not see Baby Yoda for a while because, we might have to come back and get him at some point. But I thought for sure that this is kind of the end of that. And it's a nice heart-to-heart talk, I got to say. Good scene. And then we see another tracking fob. What are they locking onto? Is it his DNA, and how far is the range on that, and how does that work exactly?
Well, let me address this scene first, then we can talk about that properly.
Yes.
I did like this enough. You felt more of a connection with them. This is when they should have been like, we kind of flirted over the last couple of weeks. This was the natural place. Even if it was at the end, it would have been nice. And then the lady could have been like, she's waiting for you to ask her out. And he's like, was she? Yeah, for the last 2 weeks. Oh, oops. Like, that would have been kind of fun. Although it's so weird to talk to him like he's his actual kid.
Yeah, I know. You and your kid.
Because he also
you and your
hasn't
boy.
spoken. He's had no communication. This time jump really changed all of the character dynamics, so we didn't get to see any of it on screen. And it's like, oh, okay. It felt weirdly rushed, which is not this show's penchant.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's about slow, methodical, and then it's rushing weeks. And yeah, the fob, this whole episode I was thinking, that he's still a bounty, right? And they gave you a fob without any, they gave everyone a fob, and you removed his clothes stroller. Like, he's being tracked with him. They're gonna find him, and you forgot about the fob. The plot forgot about it until it was important again. Another reason the Mando's not as smart as he thinks he is, because he completely forgot about the idea of, Baby Yoda's being tracked by his DNA 100% because he's a clone, so they implanted him with the DNA. Or Metachlorians, which was the other. But then if you did Metachlorians, you could do all Jedi.
But also every bounty has a fob. We saw that in the first episode. There was other fobs for different bounties because he hands in 4 fobs at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So each one, you would assume, like when you get arrested and you get your fingerprint done or whatever, that's how the fobs work. So
that's
I
true.
don't know.
That is true, yeah. Because how do you track all of them? Because I assumed the fob was just information. Like, here is the information. But it goes beep, 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 beep. I'm closer. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that has to be explained at some point before this series is over.
No, don't think about it. They don't need to explain it. Dialogue is unimportant. It just works, Stuart.
I'm willing to accept that, but
okay. Because in Star Wars Episode 9, they're gonna say, "Where's Leia?" or "Where's Rey?" Beep, 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 beep. Follow the fob. How'd you put on her? See what I mean? Dumb. And then we get the touching goodbye, and I thought, Stuart doesn't care.
I didn't. It's just like, we know you're going to leave, so just fucking leave. And then she goes to take his helmet off, and the guy's got the scope on him and sees the helmet start coming off. And I'm like, he's going to get a screenshot of this or something, and it's going to get sent back to the Mandalorians, and it's going to cause problems with the Mandalorians.
He's got a. I couldn't see because of the darkness. The dude's the annoying Imperial friend person from You know, in Star Wars 1.
Yeah, it's not the same guy. It's the same
Well,
race,
yeah,
though.
I couldn't tell because he was poorly
Yeah.
color corrected. Oh, that's cool. Sorry, just didn't know until I saw it.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought he was going to get a screenshot of this, and it was going to cause problems with the Mandalorians later because it looks like his helmet comes off almost, and it almost does before he stops her. But I'm like, okay, he stopped her. That's cool. And he asks her, Baby Yoda's my kid is happy here. I want you to look after him. It's no life following me around. It actually puts him in more danger. And then all of a sudden, you get this crosshairs on Baby Yoda. And it's like, no. And you hear the shot. And Mandalorian's like, go, take care of the kids. And I expected, to see a little dead Baby Yoda, or at least a projectile like floating right here in front of Baby Yoda or something.
That's true.
But then we see that it's her that dropped him from behind. And I'm like, yeah, thank God you're still around. And he finds a tracking fob, and are they tracking you? No, they're tracking the kid. So it would make more sense to be tracking him, to be honest.
Well, no, the Imperial dude wanted him 1,000,000,000%. So, and if you can already track Yoda, you don't need to track the guy because you already have Yoda's fobness. I actually thought this scene was quite nice with her being like, "Can I take the helmet off?" Because she's basically saying, put the helmet away, give up your thing.
Yeah.
Like I loved his almost. He was almost, He was thinking about it until like, no, I just can't. I just can't. But what timing that bounty hunter came just as he was leaving? Because if it had been an hour later, he was on his way. Woof. But I agree. I thought the payoff was quite good. I like the fact that she killed him. But I agree, it should have been Bumph. Because how did this lady know he was there? That's like, oh look, she knew he was there. Why? Plot. Would have been nicer if Yoda dodged it, because force premonition. That would have been a good payoff.
Well, yeah. Well, I assume she was just doing her routine check of around the village to make sure the raiders haven't come back or something. That she found him. I think she was.
Well,
anyway, that's my assumption.
It's the classic lucky time, lucky place, lucky.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why I think you're right about because then he would have got a payoff. It's like how did he know the guy was going to shoot him because his powers are growing, rather than she just kills him and no one knows. That would have been a better payoff for sure.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that now it's dead or alive. It's dead. Like that's just dead. That was interesting. Like was going to kill him. Yeah, and now they got to leave. Sorry guys, with the Baby Yoda.
Yeah, he doesn't want her to escort them back to the ship, so she doesn't come with them here.
But she has a bag.
She does. Well, she's moving on herself, but she's just not going with them, which I thought was odd, and I was kind of upset about because I want to see more of her. Which in the picture on Disney Plus is him, the Mandalorian, her, and IG-11. So IG-11, I assume, comes back at some point because they're all together. But
well, she's credited for 2 more episodes, so.
And she is filming season 2.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Well. So anyway, he leaves with Baby Yoda, and everybody waves goodbye, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
I was like, oh, they ended there. They actually fully resolved the situation and moved on. That was surprising. Okay. Huh. It started and ended. Nothing happened. It was weird. And the kid hugging Baby Yoda was only cute because it was a puppet. Like, oh, you hugged the puppet. That's cute.
Yeah. And I got some of the pictures of the concept art this time too, because of the ATST shots are pretty cool.
And some of it was more interesting than the actual show, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
It just ended, and I was like, oh. Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess you move on.
So my recap is I really like this one, but like I said,
super chat because we've had a couple, but $20 more would be great by the end. If you can, please so much. We love you all.
Yes.
Let's get your full review and have changed your thought process by the end, and obviously how would you review it compared to the other ones in terms of favorite, least favorite, just so you know the things to talk about. And guys, put your scores now in the comments below of your out of 10, and in comparison to like the other episodes. Like, where would you rate it? Stuart, go.
Loved it, but like I said, it felt like every episode of every sci-fi show ever, where it's like, oh, should we stay? Whatever. Had those tropes, but that's okay. It was a standalone episode. I had a lot of great stuff in it. The ATST was a win for me because I'm a huge fan. Plus, the new character, definitely a fan of hers, so seeing her was great. And had a nice episodic wrap-up feel. It didn't feel like it was a continuation of anything necessarily. And, I like the episodic feel. I really do.
It was almost a Star Trek episode.
Yes, essentially.
It was the closest Star Wars has ever been to a Star Trek episode. It was right there.
Yeah.
It was right there.
Well, with them doing live action TV, you got to expect that occasionally. So it's the format, right? So, had enough action and cool stuff. Also, a lot of good dialogue.
Yep.
Not overly dialogue-y.
Nope.
But just right. Great scenes. Great shot of the ship at night. Things like that. So had a lot going for it. Good special effects. I was pleasantly surprised with everything. There was a boom mic once. Yeah, when they were talking in the barn, there was a boom mic that you saw go out of frame and then back into frame, and then anyway. Wow, but I didn't find that out until earlier today. But anyway, as far as ranking it though, it's probably, I want to say episode 2 and this episode are probably like my favorites. But I'm trying to remember what I ranked everything.
Well, that's kind of fun, is that you don't know. So
yeah. See, I got to give this one. I'm gonna give it a 9, probably out of 10. I really enjoyed it. A lot of people had issues with this one, saying it was a huge departure from what we've seen so far, and it kind of was. But at the same time, it's still maintaining that Western.
Oh God, yeah.
Man moving on, helping people kind of vibe.
It was literally reading the playbook of a Western. I mean, it was like, follow the instruction manual, you'll make an episode of TV. It was very, very by the book.
Yeah. Did you read Lookout Tower Radio's PayPal when I was gone?
No.
Oh, well, Lookout Tower Radio puts in £2 and says Skyfall should have been Daniel Craig's last James Bond movie.
Yeah, probably.
And Fleet Paw Swiftback.
5 years ago, I was like, whoa.
I know, right?
Wow.
And Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $5.
Dang.
$5 for Baby Yoda and his eternal cuteness. Well, thank you. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 9. It's definitely still up there. There's been nothing I haven't liked. Mm-hmm. I'm afraid it might be too high, depending on what comes later, because I'm sure there's probably better episodes. But I don't know. I might have to go back and reevaluate, re-rank all these after it's done.
And that's fair. We'll get there. It's fine. Okay. Yeah. So for me, this is good. Obviously, I think the script is the best bit. Like some of those nice lines. They've really succeeded in the new character. I think succeeded with the lady on the planet. She'll be in it again. They failed with the aliens. The ATST is good because it's different, but also it's not used to its full potential. I was surprised by the episodic nature, but I enjoyed it. I mean, it shows how you can make episodic Star Wars, and I'd be all for that. Like, show me Jedi moving planet to planet. Give me that. I would be fine with that, Mandalorian himself was pretty good, although I think he was weirdly debuffed, and then he was both strengthened and weakened in different parts. They're inconsistent with his ability set, but I think that's kind of a good thing that he's not that good. He's good in comparison to some people, like the people on his planet that he happened to be like. They're all kind of crap compared to him, but he's really not like all that, which I kind of liked. And I like this is more of a talky episode than the last ones because there's more characters that actually have character. It's not just Bounty Hunter 1, Bounty Hunter 2, which I liked. And it's funny that you said episode 2 and 4 were your favourites because both are the side quest episodes. Completely one-offs. They could be any, you know what I mean? So the main plot doesn't necessarily appeal to you as much as plus both the more interesting visuals. The first two were, the 1 and 3 were in the same city. So it's that again, it's that boring grey concrete. This is visually nice. 2 is visually nice. It's so different to the rest of the season that I don't think you can compare it in the same way until you see the rest of the season. If this is the one-off, we'll throw you in because we need a filler-ish episode, then it'll get a lower score. But if if the next 2 are one-offs, and then at the end it's like everything does come together. Maybe this lays a plant. You know what I mean? If it all comes together, then I think I'll give it a higher score. But I think I'll give it an 8/0.5. Probably third best. Better than last week's. It's more interesting. But I really wish they hadn't abandoned the main plot as much as they did. You know, there's no Baby Yoda of any substance. I mean, in essence, this is a filler episode. We learn nothing about anything. Fobs are after them still. Well, yeah, duh. All you get is a new character. I mean, it is a filler episode, really, which is weird. You know what I mean? But I enjoyed it still. It was a fun ride. I wish there was a trailer to know it was episodic, or I was given some sort of heads up. It was so like different, because I was expecting different things from what the previous episodes had been. So yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see what some other people are. Well, we got a super chat from Eugene of 500 rubles. So thank you very much. 9 out of 10. No sand. Very famous trope. 7 Samurai, a Magnificent 7, which is not bad.
Yeah. Would have been better if it was like Han Solo or like Luke. You know, if same exact story but with a famous character who has a more character. But for a character with very little character, it was a well done character.
And we also got another PayPal from Jarzia, $5. I'll give it a 7. 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Great take on 7 Samurai Magnificent 7 story, even if it's just 2 of them. Show hasn't disappointed so far. Still needs to be 7 or 8 minutes longer an episode, though. This was the longest out of all the episodes, I believe. At just over 40 minutes. I think it was 41 minutes.
The first was slightly longer.
No, the first one was like 31 minutes.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this was pleasantly long, but it had to be because it was a standalone. Had to have a start, middle, and end.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Jarzia. Much appreciated.
Thank you. So 8 out of 10 to the Doctor, 9 out of 10 Bill Barkley, 9.975 out of 10. Titled all the episodes different but just as good in my opinion. Okay. 8.5 for all of Trek. Wow.
That's funny.
Oh, last one was 9.5, best so far from me. 8 out of 10, longest so far. Yeah.
Glad a lot of people are enjoying it. I've seen a lot of negativity towards this one online. But yeah.
It's not so much that negative. I think it shouldn't be negative towards this one, even though I've been little things. But it's less smart, and it's trying less hard compared to the other 3. It's not a bad thing. This is like a more average episode of TV. Still, it's good for TV. It's not quite as good for Mandalorian for me.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but I think that, like I said, the real thing was the new character. She was great. Like she was really like them two as a buddy act. And honestly,
I was gonna say she was the perfect female representation. She was a strong character, strong woman, yet still relatable and friendly. You know what I mean? And not definitely not Mary Sue or whatever.
Yep.
I think it's just a perfect representation.
And commanding when she had to be, and yet took direction when someone else knew better than her. Yeah, she's a person that happens to be a girl who was well acted.
Yeah.
Better than, well, she's the best female character we've had in Star Wars for 9 years.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, she's more interesting than Rey, which is depressing. Rey's much prettier, but I just think Rey's beautiful. Rose Tico, she's worthless. This one's much better.
Ray is attractive.
Pink Lady, the general is just the stupidest character, the stupidest general. Yeah, it just doesn't take much,
And Jarza throws in $2 Canadian. I'd love for Dune and Mando to team up eventually.
Mm-hmm. Well, season 2.
I agree.
I mean, they're also testing the thing. So you said there's a picture with IG, with an IG. I think that might be kind of cool if season 2 has some threefer, buddy cop stuff. I mean, the three of them would be an dynamic, all of which are stoic, can't talk. But weirdly enough, the androids would be the funniest one. That'd be kind of a, yeah. They made some good side characters. Well done them.
Yeah.
Ray's not as pretty. Well, Jeff, we have different tastes. So
I think Daisy Ridley's very attractive. This lady is also super attractive to me. So they're both attractive in different ways, though.
Oh yeah. Well, completely different body types and face types.
Yeah. And yet I find And the other girl, the widow in this, sure, she was super attractive. Not my type though. I'm like, I wouldn't be interested.
Also, I feel like she looks like also the woman for Insurrection as well.
Kind of, I guess.
There's definitely Insurrection parallels here.
Yeah.
And Daisy Ridley is 1 year older than me.
Anti-Trekker is here. Kurgan is listed as being in episode 7 and 8. Yes. Welcome, Anti-Trekker.
Epic end to the story. Anti-Trekker, what'd you give this out of 10 then? Because Stuart.
He probably hated it. It was probably all negativity.
Oh. Yeah, Stuart didn't notice a lot of stuff I noticed Anti-Trekker. But Stuart gave it a 9. I gave it an 8.5 or 8, depending how it pays off. If it doesn't pay off at all, it's an 8 because it's a weird one-off that doesn't necessarily fit. If it does pay off, then 8.5. But did a great job with the.
He said he put it in an earlier comment. 8 out of 10. He said, best episode of the season. Nice to see truly badass woman. 8 out of 10. Perfect.
Wow, best of the season.
You ignored me, jerks. Well, you're never here, so yes, of course we ignored you.
You're also a moderator. That's surprising. Wow, the power.
I gave him moderating power because he's a friend of mine. He's a good guy. So if he steps out of line, I can smack him around a little bit with a wrench. The wrench that I take away from him for being a moderator. He posted a full review of this morning.
Nice.
Well, it's good that you liked it because the negativity is a little much. Negativity leads to anger. Anger leads to darkness.
Stuart, go watch Lost in Space and Altered Carbon. They're both great.
I've already watched Altered Carbon and Lost in Space. I'll get to.
Hopefully I'm getting the Blu-ray for Christmas because I've asked for lots of different things. Alright, well there you go guys. Thanks for everyone, both on the PayPal and the Super Chats. Put them together, it's been really, really helpful. And we've got lives. Remind me again, Stuart.
Tomorrow and Thursday.
Yes.
Yes.
TNG, so join in if you want to see more episodic review. Huzzah. Thanks so much.
And Anti-Trekker says, Captain Foley, I think you will appreciate my review. I get into the negativity from my peers in it. Well, that's good. Good. You're hanging out with some shady-ass people, man. Just saying. You need to join us every once in a while and have an argument every once in a while because it's nice to have an intelligent conversation sometimes. So, anyway.
Nice to see you, Trekker. Have a good everything.
Yes. I'll check out your review later.
Yeah. See you guys tomorrow.
Bye, guys.